Hey, good morning. You can be part of the show anytime. See, I told you when you have guests in, I have to say, here we go, or nobody pays attention to me. You can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email letstalk@WSJM.com. Or you can stop by here in the parking lot and listen to us wonder if you're the one sitting in the parking lot in your car, much like Fred Upton. Fred, was that weird to be in the
I said,
in
I
the
guess I
parking
got to
lot?
go in. I guess I got to go ring the buzzer.
Is that Fred? Were you talking to your radio like, yes, it's me. I'm here.
Yeah.
I made it.
I'm on my way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it's great to have you, former Congressman Fred Upton. Good to have you. How have you been? What's new?
I'm doing great. I mean, it's, I got all the snow off the driveway. I don't have to. Yeah, I'm just wondering. I bought a snowblower a few years ago, and I couldn't get it started back in December because it sat in the garage.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if and I wasn't here for the big snowfall.
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering if we're going to get any more snow the rest of the year. I feel sorry for the folks up at Boeing Mountain.
Right.
Yeah.
But how am I going to start it next year if I couldn't start it this year?
You may just put a for sale sign on that thing.
No. It's got, I make a joke about this, but I bought it for myself. I can hit the house next door as the house next door can hit my house. I mean, it's a powerful little deal. It's got a headlight on it. It has electric start.
Has it got like the canopy that you can go inside there?
No. But it pulls you. It's got chains on the tires and stuff. And anyway, when I got it, I put a wreath on it and I told Amy, I said, "This is for you." Smack. I know.
Nice.
No, I love it. I love the thing, but now I can't get it started now. So I got to figure out, maybe we'll get snow again this season. But
maybe.
It doesn't seem like it.
Here's a suggestion. Maybe you put it in this Lake Michigan College Foundation auction.
No. This is my baby.
All right.
I'm gonna make sure that it works.
If you need help starting it or cleaning the spark plugs, let us know.
I'll call Tom Buckleitner. He's my house engineer.
But you're here for a couple of reasons. We want to talk to you about a couple of news things. But first, Lake Michigan College, the Lake Michigan College Foundation Student Benefit Auction 32 is coming up, and you've been involved in this in a lot of years.
I think I've gone almost every time. We might have had it's usually always on a Saturday, so maybe I've got a Lincoln Day dinner, when I was in Congress or something. But I was usually there. But this is. LMC is a jewel. I mean, you think about college. I can remember as a youngster going with my dad to some of the old buildings at LMC. But, we got our little flyer in the mail this week and Connecting to the Future. And it talks about 96% of the students who go there get some type of financial aid.
Yeah.
And this is a huge, huge event. I mean, it raises literally probably more than $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's a fun event. It's going to be on March 2nd.
Okay.
And it's going to be a little bit different. I think instead of a sit-down dinner, they're going to have high hors d'oeuvres, I guess you could say.
Oh.
But they'll have an auction. It's black tie optional.
Yeah, you're gonna wear a black tie. You're gonna wear a tuxedo?
I don't know. I asked when Al Pashoka called me. I said, "This black tie." I said, "Well, some people wear them." I haven't decided yet.
I've gone to black tie events, and then I show up with a tux on, and then no one else is wearing a tux.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
you got to go James Bond.
Yeah. We'll see. But it's a community event, and it really does benefit the community. I mean, I've been to LMC so many times, and it really is, they're helping students, they're working with employers. And when you look at the higher education costs, when I was a student, I went to a state school, Michigan. My tuition back in the 70s was $330 a semester, not a semester hour. That's what the tuition actually was.
That's crazy.
For an in-state student.
Wow.
Now, obviously other expenses too, but that was the, but this is so important, and it's everybody and their sister ought to be there, and it's fun. I mean, listening to you guys earlier this morning about what's going on Valentine's Day,
right?
The performances that are there, it really is keystone in our community. And so let's hope we get a good crowd there. And it's because at the end of the day, it's going to help students and make sure that they're going to make their community, hopefully ours, a better place.
Yeah, since 1988, the Student Benefit Auction, which began as the Winner's Circle Auction, you might notice that, has raised funds to provide scholarships to students who might not otherwise be able to attend college. More than $5 million has been raised for the Scholarship Endowment Fund, with more than $200,000 in student scholarship funds available just last year.
It's fantastic. Yeah, and you'll be able to see some of the great programs too, because I saw that the wine and viticulture program going to have some great things for you to try, as well as a robust charcuterie. I did see the robust charcuterie.
So I don't know if you need to buy a drink ticket or not with the wine folks that are going to be there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anytime the viticulture people show up, you know you're going to get some good wine.
But I know some of the people that have gone to the wine school, and they've just come away with, I can't believe how good this is.
Tons of knowledge.
And I wanted to do it, but we had votes.
Maybe that's something you can do.
It was like on a Wednesday night or something like that. I said, no, I got votes that night. But I know a lot of people that went, and it was really terrific. And of course, agriculture for this part of the district, I mean, from asparagus to apples, but it includes grapes. I mean, it's a huge thing. I mean, you look at our wineries here, and but this was something for the consumers of that wine.
Absolutely.
So it was good.
Maybe you go into the program, you start Fred wine. I think that'd be great.
I don't know. I'm happy with the other vineyards that are around.
Well, as you said, it's happening Saturday, March 2nd at the LMC Mendel Center, Grand Upton Hall. It's going to be a great event. You can get your tickets and buy a table if you'd like. Get all that info by checking out lakemichigancollege.edu. So that's awesome.
Good information. How are we doing on time?
We're good.
We got a couple minutes.
We have a couple
we
minutes.
do have a couple minutes.
And I'm okay. I have a dentist appointment I won't be late for. But,
so we can keep you the full hour. Look at that, Johnny. We can keep you the full hour.
Just wait to see my smile later on today, right?
But Fred, a lot of stuff happening. Maybe we start with presidential politics. New Hampshire primaries happened, and we saw who won that. And it's increasingly looking like it'll be another rematch between former President Donald Trump, current President Joe Biden. You're running the no labels piece. How is that coming along?
I'm a volunteer.
You're a volunteer with
and
that.
I was in New Hampshire, and I've been in a lot of states.
What's your view of the world right now, today?
Well, it's 70%. I've seen polling really since March, and it has stayed consistent. 70% of the American public does not want a rematch between these two.
So how are you going to give them an alternative?
Choice. So if it is these two, and it appears more and more likely that it is, I mean, Nikki Haley isn't even on the ballot in Nevada. I don't guess that's next week. And, she's trailing significantly in South Carolina as well before it gets to some other states.
Yeah,
like
the
Michigan
latest poll number in South Carolina, Trump is at 52, Haley's at 21.
Wow. Yeah, she's 30 points down.
30 points down in her own state.
And, both senators have endorsed Trump. Most of the, I think, congressional delegation has endorsed Trump in South Carolina. So she's got real headwinds, even though she's obviously the former governor. But for a lot of reasons, people don't want these same two to run again, to have a different choice. And I've been involved with no labels really since probably about 2015, I would say. It's been organizations have been around since about 2008. Seriously, it's been involved with issues until now. And now we're trying to see if we can get access to the ballot, just like Ross Perot did, just like a number of states. And we have, a Green Party ticket, independent ticket, taxpayer ticket. New York, they have a right to life ticket. So we're looking at a no labels ticket that would just be on the presidential level, not Congress or state rep. And it would be a unity ticket with a Republican likely as at the top of the ticket and a Democrat as the vice presidential pick. And our role at this point is to really just to get every state's different. Here in Michigan, you need 47,000 signatures. In Maine, you needed 5,000. I mean, there's different rules. We're on more than a dozen states' ballots, which is exactly where we can be. I mean, some states you can't. I did a Zoom call earlier this week with folks in Wisconsin and Missouri, Wisconsin, you can't even start the process until January 1st. So,
wow.
and they've started the process now
Sure.
to get on the ballot. But our idea is that, look, if it's going to be Trump and Biden, we are going to try to get on all 50 states before late spring and offer a unity ticket, which we'll probably name in the next couple weeks. Originally, the time frame was Super Tuesday because that's when things really get locked in. But let's face it, it looks like it's going to be these two. So
I mean, if Nikki Haley were to drop out today, what would No Labels be doing?
Well, she's probably would say no. She would not want to be part of this because I think she'd look towards 28.
Okay.
And this may torpedo her, even though we're one and done. We're not in this. And the candidates themselves will actually run the campaign. It won't be No Labels. We'll just provide access. She's probably going to want to wait until 28, depending, of course, what happens. But it's. We're vetting candidates now. We came out with a common sense agenda, sort of a platform. Anyone can find it on nolabels.org, which we unveiled in New Hampshire in July.
And you're still looking at a Republican at the top of the ticket and a Democrat vice president.
Yep.
How did you arrive at that decision?
Well, we actually think that's we actually can do better that way. I mean, and we've got polling, so I haven't seen the most recent results. It's just out of the field now, but literally all 50 states. They polled tens of thousands of folks, the quality of individual that people are looking for.
Sure.
Character. I mean, again, we've got some good issues that we labeled in our common sense agenda. But at the end of the day, we think that we can win, and particularly if it's Trump and Biden, because so many people are like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And there's weaknesses on both sides.
So are you using that some of that polling and that information that you're getting from the American people to see when you're doing your vetting process to kind of make those in line with what the type of person you want?
Yeah, exactly. So it's I'm on conference calls every week, long ones, and the process is beginning to move forward. It's sort of exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm just a volunteer, so it's.
That's what you keep saying.
I got to tell you, there, as I look at, when you do a Zoom call, it's like Hollywood Squares, right?
Yep.
I mean, I got other former colleagues, I got former governors, I got some top media guys that you'd recognize. I mean, it is, I'm public about it, but not everybody is. But everyone offering advice and. We'll see what happens.
You have to try the Microsoft Teams because we recently switched over to that instead of Zoom. And it's fun because you can take away the Hollywood squares and you can put everyone on a dais. And so you've got like 3 tiers of daises and it looks like it's Plato and Socrates and everybody else just sitting there talking to each other. It's really weird with AI.
Well, I was skiing in Utah earlier this month. And so we had the conference call. Usually they're Fridays at 3. And so I got off the slopes. It's snowing. I got my goggles on. I got some great Oakley goggles. And behind me, the scene is the Golden Gate Bridge. And people say, Fred, where are you?
That's great. That's fantastic. Awesome. Speaking of AI and goggles, and that leads me to think a little bit about social media. Did you watch any of the coverage from yesterday's hearing?
I watched just a tad bit. And it's, it is... I'm a parent, I'm a grandparent now. I mean, we've seen the advent of, all these different platforms as they go out there. And you really do say, where is the responsibility to make sure that vulnerable children are not subjected to some of this crap? And you hear these stories, the suicides, the drug use, how to steal a car, crime, shop, it's just like, where is the adult in the room? And it was more than a shot across the bow. The question is, how do you write the legislation so that it's not challenged successfully is the First Amendment right or whatever as it relates to the Constitution? That's the difficult part. But I think the message was pretty well delivered. I saw some of the news shows last night, and I would guess it's going to dominate today quite a bit. And there's not a lot of time in the legislative calendar But man, it was all hands on deck. A lot of punches thrown yesterday.
Yeah. Where does the responsibility lie? I mean, you talk about the social media companies that are putting it out there. You talk about parents and their ability to control, but how can you when it's everywhere? And then you also talk about the pipelines that make it available. I mean, where does the responsibility lie? How do you get to the root of the issue itself?
Yeah, that's the $64,000 question, but it's probably add a few more zeros to it.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny's out, so we can keep going.
Oh, yeah.
What else is intriguing you in the news these days?
Well, the president's coming. President Biden's coming to Michigan today.
That's
Obviously, it's in the tailwinds of his UAW endorsement that he got, a few days ago.
Yeah.
We were talking off camera. How does the president decide? He's not been here since
September,
a few months when he came with the striking workers.
Yep.
But it's how. So you were asking, how does he decide who goes with him?
Right.
Air Force One goes.
Yeah.
So it's usually
there's a lot of room on that plane.
There is, and it's I've been on Air Force. I was literally the first Republican or first member to go with Obama when he came to South Bend, within a week or two of when he was sworn in. So I actually gave him, it was fun. Of course, I knew him as a senator a little bit, but I gave him a little tour of the plane. He hadn't been on it before, and I flew with Joe Donnelly, and he was then, I think, the House member, not a senator then. Of course, now he's ambassador to the Holy See, and he and I are very good friends. But I think it was just the two of us in terms of members that were on the plane with Obama when he came, and I went with Biden when he went to the auto show back in 22 with many of the Michigan delegation. It was sort of fun. The plane takes off from Andrews. Just a little story, and he's in the front compartment.
Yeah.
He came back with us, and there's like a dining room table that's runs north and south on the plane. So it's, from the nose going to the tail, and I'm sitting at the back. And so as the plane takes off, all of a sudden, everyone's coffee and donuts, they all come right to me.
They didn't spill on you, did
they?
Like
a magnet.
But it was like I had to have both arms out, and I said, now I know why I'm on this plane. All this garbage just coming my way.
Oh, that's awesome.
But, I was with Bush 41 when he came, and the Michigan delegation when he spoke at the University of Michigan. He got an honorary degree. That was 91, maybe it was. And the rest of the delegation, it was a Saturday, and the rest of the delegation, so free ride back to Michigan. I said, well, I'm going to go back. I mean, you're with the leader of the free world. I mean, he invites you up to the front of the plane, right where the 747 comes together. And so we had a great time. I was the only one going back with him. Man. And, that was the day that he had the heart murmur. Remember, he got on a helicopter and he went to Camp David and, bingo, all of a sudden I got home and my wife goes, what'd you do to the president?
Right.
I said, it was just a day trip back and forth. But yeah, it's pretty exciting time when you're with the president. You can ask him anything you want.
Sure.
At the time with Biden, King Charles had just gotten put in, and he said, they want me to call him His Highness.
Anyway, what was your advice?
I said, well, I guess he is the king. I don't.
Why not?
Yeah, but it's you can ask about stuff, and again, that usually within a congressional delegation, you're pretty close. I mean. Whether it's for us protecting the Great Lakes, the autos, the environment, all those things are important. We often fly together. There's no direct flight for me when I came back literally every week. So you'd fly through usually Detroit on Delta. And, that's where you catch up with everybody else. We'd all be on the same plane going back to DC and then back to, at the end of the week coming back. So, the delegation's pretty close. You're on a lot of the same committees together, and you vote, you walk over. So it's exciting to be on Air Force One from time to time.
Yeah. I know we're running out of time here.
That's the alarm going off.
The alarm going off. The
so
fries
what is
are
that?
ready.
Someone else in the parking lot. Right?
I've been told it's the fries are done. but I've never been able to find the fries in this building.
Yeah, Burger King. We're at Burger King.
We're at.
But just last question, because you're involved in this picking of the potential third candidate, is age going to be one of the factors that you look at?
We're not going to have an 80-year-old. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Is President Biden too old to run for reelection?
You know, it's one of the charges. You know, there's faults on both sides. You know, from the Democratic standpoint as it relates to Biden, and on the Republican side as it relates to Trump. I mean, lots of different issues. Yeah, age is a factor. The polls show that as well, and it's a very demanding job, 24/7, and huge challenges, particularly today in the world, not only with the conflict in the Middle East, but you've got Ukraine, and then when you add on, and I served in the Reagan White House for 4.5 years. The test is within the White House is always that reelection, and for Reagan, he won 49 states, and after dealing with a Democratic Congress, because he didn't care who got the credit, but let's move the ball down the field. We had huge issues, Berlin, the fall of the wall, with East Germany. But he won 49 states, and I spoke at Kiwanis here earlier in the week, and no one could remember the state that he didn't win.
What was it? I don't even remember.
Mondale's, Minnesota.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh,
But
no.
I mean, a Republican winning California today,
Yeah.
Right.
or New York,
Unheard of.
or Massachusetts.
Unthinkable.
Yeah, but
49 states.
49 states.
Well, bring that candidate forward.
Yeah,
Bring somebody
that's what we're
forward
gonna
that
do.
can get 49
All
states.
right.
All right, Congressman Fred Upton, thanks for joining us. Have fun at the teeth cleaning.
Yeah.
Tell the dentist we said hello.
Get the
No
snowblower running.
Phillies, look.
Maybe you'll hear us at the dentist, and we'll be talking about you again, and
Yeah,
you'll be like,
yeah.
"I'm right here."
Yeah, and if you don't,
They
turn
usually
this
have
radio.
that home improvement show on, so you're looking
Okay.
above, and there's
Yep.
a guy fixing the roof.
I think you go to my dentist.
Yeah.
All right.